and Shonda will tell you a story when she was running on a project and hadn't done the planning and ran into it head fast with a big client, big deliveries, small team, big promise. And it was a little bit chaotic, wasn't it, Shondell?
It certainly was, and I think that you have to take some kudos for that, Brad, because as a system gets created, one of the most important parts of system creation is if it works fine for the person who created the system, then that's really great. But if the team can't replicate the system, then it creates chaos. And so I think, just from that story there and the way that you mentioned that, it is definitely a team effort. There might be people who are creating systems to start off with, but unless there's an opportunity to test the system and make sure that someone else can produce the same result as you following that system, then it may be a flawed system. And, it's so interesting that we're talking about this in the context of neurolinguistic programming and building teams and unlocking success through systems and processes, because the creators of NLP effectively didn't create NLP. What they did was they went and looked at excellent behavior from a number of different people within different industries and different distinctions of human development. And they said, what is it about this person that allows them to complete and create success every single time? And so this is where we get the framework of modeling from in NLP. So what's your thoughts on that, Brad, in terms of what we're just talking about here?
Yeah, I think that the process of looking at what works and finding out excellence and not having to reinvent the wheel is really important. A lot of the times, there is things are done and built out of stress and not looking at the path of least resistance there. So a lot of the language we look at, and we're all, again, as you said, all the techniques of NLP, nothing in NLP come from NLP. It was all modeled on excellence. And just the process of the simple concept of setting context and pre-framing a conversation before you get in there it makes a massive difference in a meeting and how long it can go for. Being able to ask questions and understand what's the presupposition we've referred to, what is being presupposed by what someone says, and not making assumptions and asking questions a little bit deeper rather than making an idea that we think we know what the person says. We're not even thinking, we just assume we know what the person says without actually getting a bit more clarification on that and where that goes. And I think that when we're looking at how we communicate and we're looking at what we're bringing into the conversation, where do we start off? I know that there are certain times in the day where I'll look at my schedule of my week and my process going through, and that 15 minutes sitting down to sort of look at my day, look at my emails and get a plan. Sometimes you get to a point where you feel yourself sort of hyperventilating, and sometimes you think, okay, I've got this under control. This is all right. But again, it's that starting with that end in mind and think, okay, so what do I need to do and who do I need to communicate and what is the concise, clear messaging I can do? And when there is a system in place, am I following that system? And if there's not a system in place, am I asking the questions and am I finding out what needs to happen there? Because, going through and developing and improving, I would get ownership of something. I would go through and put together a process and a procedure on that. And in my head, it was very, very clear and easy and everyone knew how to do it. And all of a sudden people asking, what's this and where's this? And I'm going, why aren't they using my system?